Welcome back to the program, everyone. I'm doing a different style of video today. I'm just trying to keep it nice and basic so that everybody can come up to the same speed here. And I just want to break it down to the basics, because sometimes I've been in this space for almost 8 years now, and you get kind of wrapped into different things and it gets complicated. But one of the arts of communicating is keeping things as simple as possible. And I wanted to talk about a few different topics. Probably going to be more than one video, but today's topic is going to be about wealth, okay? The reason we want to talk about wealth is that it leads to things like what's over my shoulder here. But before I get into this, again, because we're on this platform and it helps out the channel, if you would just take a moment, hit the like button, hit it. If you like the content, please share it. Leave a comment down below, hit the notification bell. All that good stuff really helps out the channel. But I want to keep things really simple at a high level. Like, why do I talk about Bitcoin every week? Why do we talk about that? What is the point about Bitcoin? Why did we get involved with a company? Like, why did we create EconomicPreppers? What was the point of that? Well, the point is that everyone was trying to acquire and maintain and build wealth. How do you do that? Well, you have to get into assets that appreciate compared to what everything else is kept in, as far as what we have to spend. We have to spend dollars in America. That's what we've been conditioned to. That's where we've been accustomed to. That's how we grew up. That's the system that they developed, and we encapsulate ourselves in. Because if you walk into a store, everything's priced in US dollars. But it's not priced in gold. It's not priced in works of art. It's not priced in collectibles. It's not priced in Bitcoin or silver or gold. It's priced in dollars. So you have to go through the mental exercise of trying to build wealth so you can have more dollars, so you can buy the things you want or need or have to do to maintain your style of living. That's, as we know in the last few years with inflation, has become more and more difficult to do just that. So how do we build wealth, right? Everyone, let's start with premise number one. Everyone out there in the sound of my voice probably wants more wealth than they have, okay? That's just a basic fundamental of what people want, because you want that, like, you have wants and you have needs. You have needs like we need food, we need shelter, we need clothing, we need clean water. We need certain things to exist and not just survive, but thrive. And then that's when you get into your wants. I want to go on a trip. I want to take a vacation. I want that bigger house, that nicer car. Those are your wants. But it all comes down to the bottom line of wealth. You need to build wealth. How do you do that? You need to get into something that's going to appreciate and be worth more in terms of however you measure it than it is today. So, basic example, and I know most people that are acquiring wealth, they may or may not still be in the stock market. I'm not right now because I don't trust it, and we can talk about that at a different time. But most people are familiar with the concept of buying a stock. And typically, you've heard almost everybody say something like this in your lifetime. I wish I bought X when it was $1. Like, I wish I had bought Amazon, Google, Facebook, Nvidia, Tesla, all these different projects that are, like, you name it, like Amazon. It could be any company that's like thousands of dollars per share now. I wish you bought it for $1. Well, the thing is that you could have, but you didn't know, right? You need to be in the know to be able to acquire these things before they launch. And sometimes that barrier to entry is just knowledge, right? You need to know something. Like, how do I know that Apple at $1 was worth holding on to? Because it's going to be worth hundreds and thousands of dollars later on. Same thing for Tesla or Nvidia or Berkshire Hathaway. These things all appreciate. Like, I wish, for example, I had bought Bitcoin when it was $1. Well, the barrier to entry to buying Bitcoin when it was $1 was pretty high. It wasn't easy to get back then. Like, when I started, it was in the hundreds, like $100 to $1,000 range. Right? That's like 2016 or so, like 8 years. It sounds like that's forever in the Bitcoin crypto space. But Bitcoin used to be under $1,000, and at that point, you're like, that's almost unfathomable now that it's 100x'd since when I started. Okay, but there are people that started with like 100 times smaller than that. But the level of difficulty goes up when you have when you get into that early part. So you either have to have knowledge, or you have to have some kind of understanding that I know Amazon's going to be the big winner and going to blow up. I know that Google's going to be the big winner. I know Nvidia is going to be the big winner. You don't always know that, but what we do know is that To acquire wealth, you have to have some knowledge of something that it's going to appreciate over time in the method that we measure it in, which is US dollars right for now, and it probably will be for several years to come. But we know that inflation is out of control and the dollar is inflating and the things are costing more and more in terms of dollars, but certain things are going up even faster than that, like Bitcoin. We know that certain asset classes are going to outpace inflation. That's what we are all seeking to do. And the way we know that is because we know that there's certain metrics about an asset. Like we know that, okay, if you are in the New York real estate market and you know that like buying something in Times Square is going to be worth 10 times more than it is today, then the price of it today is cheap, relatively speaking, because let's just say it's going to be worth 10 times more in 5 years. So buying it for like $1 per or $100 per square foot, I think it's probably like more like $1,000. Let's just say $1,000 per square foot today for that space. It's going to be worth $10,000 per square foot in 5 years. It's a bargain. Right? Just like if I was going to buy like this Bitcoin hat, right? If I was going to buy this Bitcoin hat, I knew this Bitcoin hat would be worth $1,000, but I could buy it for $20 today. You would do that. But sometimes you don't always know. But what we do know about certain assets is that, there's certain aspects of it that is going to make it more rare, harder to acquire, harder to collect in the future, and it already is deemed to be valuable. That is what we have in terms of Bitcoin. Bitcoin, it's a limited asset. There's only going to be ever 21 million Bitcoin. They're not going to add more. They're not going to make more. That's hardwired, hard written into the code of Bitcoin. There's only ever going to be 21 million. We're almost at 20 million already that's been mined. There's only about 1 million left to mine. And right now, demand is outstripping supply by almost at least a factor of 10, if not more, which means that for every Bitcoin that's made today, there are 10 times as many people that want it than those who are creating it. 900 Bitcoin are made per day right now as of March in 2024. In about a month, it's going to be cut in half. So we have 900 made per day now. There's a demand for over 10,000 a day right now. So you have 11 days worth of supply chewed up in one day. And then in about a month from now, there's an event called the halving where the supply gets cut in half. So now you're going to go from 900 a day to 450 a day. That happens every 4 years. So the supply, and that's hard written into the code as well. Every 4 years, they cut the supply in half. That means that demand from like 10 to 12x per day is going to go to 20 to 25x per day. So pretty soon, we're not going to have any ability to get Bitcoin, except if you're mining it or certain ways. So better that you're educated about an asset that's going to appreciate in value, that's hard to acquire now. The difficulty to acquire it is going to go back up again because miners aren't going to sell it. People who have Bitcoin are not going to want to sell it because what they're going to do is they're going to borrow against it in the future. So that's what we teach over at Economic Preppers, how to do that. We call it micro-strategizing your life, micro-strategizing your business, where you do the Michael Saylor philosophy where you buy Bitcoin every so often or you mine it and then you borrow against it and you never sell it. But that's advanced stuff. The bottom line right now is you want to acquire wealth. That's why we like Bitcoin, the asset it's scarce. Things that are scarce, things that are rare. The Mona Lisa goes up in value because there's only one. And there's no, please tell me the artist. Is it Michelangelo? Who painted the Mona Lisa? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. If you know who painted the Mona Lisa, leave in the comments. But rare art, like Da Vinci, might be Da Vinci. I don't know. You're not gonna like Michelangelo and Da Vinci. Those artists who are longer around, they're not creating more art. That makes all their art rare and collectible and appreciating in value. Just like Bitcoin, it's going to get more and more rare as time goes on and harder to acquire. So you already have an asset that has value. The value is appreciating, especially in terms of dollars, because that's inflating. Wealth. We all want to acquire wealth. We acquire assets that will go up in value over time. That could be the Mona Lisa, or that could be another work of art, something rare and collectible. It could be like a rare baseball card, or like a first edition Lamborghini. But things that are rare and hard to acquire, they go up in value, and that's what we have with Bitcoin. That's why we like it. That's why we teach you how to get into it, how to preserve it safely, securely, and take care of it and preserve your wealth over time. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about wealth. Things that go up over time in terms of currencies that we measure it in. So a lot said today. I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to talk about value and probably in the next video, but what are your thoughts on creating wealth and what represents wealth to you? Leave it in the comments down below, and you don't have to measure it in terms of dollars either. It could be your family, your friends, your health. All those are wealth facets too. But when it comes to economics, hard to acquire rare assets, great way to preserve your wealth. And that's what we teach you over at Economic Preppers, and that's what I teach you to do whenever you reach out to me. So reach out to me, let me know what your thoughts are. Tell me about this video. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And I really appreciate the time, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.